to be penalized in some way. I'm
Well,
sorry.
the downside is he went from being, everybody loves the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and then he was the genie and all this other stuff, to now he's the guy who walked up on stage and slapped somebody.
Yeah. But did you remember him
He was
laughing?
also Deadshot. He was also Deadshot.
I don't know what that is.
Suicide Squad. So.
Oh God, that was awful. Yeah, that's true.
Did you see him laughing
Yeah.
at the joke?
Yeah.
And then he looked over. When he looked at Jada,
saw that she was
like,
mad.
But Jada's look to me says, man, we should have sat further back. Mm-hmm. Because you're in a comedy club,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Yeah.
If
Well,
you're in the front.
She had no problem when Regina King made a comment just like that prior to it.
Oh, I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, she had no problem when somebody
See?
else commented about her hair.
I mean, because she did look good.
Yeah,
And
she
I
looked
said,
great.
After all this that's going on, Chris Rock said, what do you call it? G.I. Joe?
G.I.
G.I. Jane 2. Let that movie come.
Yeah, there you go.
Because she's going to be the perfect one for it.
You don't.
I don't agree with that. And then his son talking about this is how we do it. Now you're telling me that that's the,
Yeah, so now,
it's okay? There's
Yeah.
no boundaries at all.
and for them to let him stay there was the main issue.
I couldn't believe it. I said,
Yeah.
I can't believe you're going
You
to let us
don't.
sit
You
there.
don't.
It's also why when I go out shopping, I steer clear of people. Because if I see like let's say you're out shopping and you see one thing on the shelf. If I see somebody else going for it, I'm gonna let them have it. I'm not gonna try to speed up to get to it before them, because I don't know that person. That person could be on their last straw, their last on rock, or whatever the phrase is. And I don't feel like having a brawl in the middle of Walmart over a can of green beans. That's just me. I don't know, that's just me.
You used the word brawl. That's the first thing I said. Can you imagine if Chris Rock did not stay his composure? That would have been an all.
Well, do you know why? Because
brawl.
Chris Rock has talked repeatedly about how he was abused as a child. So that was a very triggering moment for him. So that's the whole reason why he stood there and smiled, is because as a kid, when you're getting beat by your
No.
parents, you don't get to
No.
fight back and do all those things.
No.
But all those memories came back to him quickly, I'm sure.
No.
He said,
he
wow.
had.
But
Yes.
Will Smith didn't have any of those thoughts going through his mind
He
before he
didn't
got
care.
up there
At
like
that time, he did
jackass
not
and
care.
smacked
That was
Chris
a
Rock.
He
meltdown.
didn't care.
That
Yeah.
was a
He write a check.
meltdown.
Yeah.
I tell you, he don't care.
Yeah.
But he was laughing at first.
He was, until he realized that his wife wasn't. And it wasn't because he wanted to make her feel better. It's because he didn't want to be known as the guy who laughed while his wife sat there unhappy.
No.
I still said her look said we should have sat further back because this is a comedy club setting. If you go to any comedy club, I've been to one at least.
Yeah.
The last one we went to with Alyssa.
Yeah.
I said, ooh, this is.
Yeah, but they're not.
She didn't look hurt. She looked annoyed, like, ugh.
I am anonymous caregiver, and I am here with,
Preparing for survival.
and we're going to talk about shortages.
So I normally shop at Publix and Costco. One is your regular grocery store, one is your wholesale store. And I see a lot of differences between the two. Where do you normally shop?
I normally shop at Wal-Mart because I like the variety that they have, and the prices are more along the lines I'm looking for. And my alternative is Kroger because there are certain items that I want specifically, and they are the only ones that have it.
So Walmart is your go-to for most of it. Kroger is your fallback for things they don't have. Whereas for me, Costco, the wholesale place, is my go-to normally. Publix is my fallback for things that, like, I don't need 15 gallons of mayonnaise, so I won't get that at Costco. Okay, so if you're going from Walmart over to Kroger, what is it that Walmart either is not carrying or has a shortage of that forces you to go to Kroger to find it?
Okay, I like 2% lactose-free milk. That's specifically for my mother because I'm a caregiver for her, and that's the only milk that she prefers.
Now, is it Kroger brand? Is that why you go
It's
to
a
Kroger?
Kroger brand.
Okay.
2% what?
2% lactose-free milk.
Kroger brand.
Yes.
Now, see, I go to Publix specifically for their 2% lactose-free Publix organic brand. Meanwhile, when we were in Destin, we went to Walmart and they were completely out of Lactaid, the lactose-free milk. They were completely out of any Walmart brand of lactose-free milk. And we didn't go into Publix. We did go to Winn-Dixie and I didn't check there. Winn-Dixie, I was completely mind blown by their meat pricing. It made absolutely no sense how expensive it was, but that's not what we're talking about. I just could not wrap my head around it. But for me, Publix is where I go for the exact same thing. It's funny that you go to a specific store for that store brand's milk, right? Like,
What were the prices on the milk that you got? Because when I go to Kroger, it's $2.99 a half gallon. And that's about the price, that I'm going to spend for it.
Is it organic or is it
It's
regular?
just regular.
Okay.
But she wants a certain brand, and it has to look a certain way.
Understandable.
Otherwise, she won't
Is
use
it
it.
discounted with the Kroger Plus card?
Yes. On certain times of the month it is. Not all the time, but sometimes.
So when you buy it, do you get discounts with your Kroger Plus card, or is it normally just regular price?
I get a discount sometimes because they send me coupons in the mail since I buy it often. So when I get those coupons, I get a discount.
Ooh, do you use Kroger fuel then too?
I absolutely do.
So how much do you save getting Kroger? Like how much do you generally pay for Kroger fuel? Do you know?
I spend $25 per week. That's what I'm spending now. Even with the increase in the prices, I'm still going to spend what I always spent because I'm still going to stay in that 5-mile radius.
So you mentioned that you're a caregiver. Does that mean that there is a fixed income that goes along with that?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so when you go shopping, are you going shopping for items or on a budget?
I'm going shopping for items as I am on a budget. I'm not familiar with any senior deals given at Walmart. They used to do that a while back, but they don't do that at any stores that I know of right now. But I shop at Walmart because there are certain things that I know I'm going to purchase. Soups, Progresso specifically, name brand items that I really need and want are always at least 50 cents less at Walmart than they are at any other store I've gone to. Inflation is definitely causing everything to cost more. And even though Walmart is my favorite store, today I went there and I was told because of those prices that are on the shelves are not comparable to the item you're buying, you're just going to have to go ahead and buy it anyway.
So you're saying that when you're ringing it up, it's coming up more than what is on the shelf?
Yes.
Whereas before, if that was the case, they would have to price match what it was listed at on the
And
shelf.
they still do, but only one item. So if I want 3 cans of a particular soup and it costs $1.58 on the shelf, but when I get to the register it costs $1.99, only one of those I'll get for $1.58 and I have to pay the $1.99 for the other 2. Today the cashier told me that they did not have enough stockers to change the pricing on the shelves because they can't keep up with the change in the prices.
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense because if you go out to eat now, they have the QR codes that you scan instead of putting prices on their menus because you have to, everything's changing
It's
so much
changing so
because of the
rapidly.
shortages and the increase in meats and dairy and
Everything.
everything else. So if what you're saying is that when you get to the register, things are costing differently, you're seeing a different cost at the register than you're seeing on the shelves, and they're saying it's because of there's not enough people to change the labels. That also means though that there is no price protection for when Walmart orders. So when they place an order, let's say they place an order on Tuesday and everything should cost $1,000, but when it shows up on Friday, there has been some sort of increase and now it costs $1,200. That's what they pay, $1,200. They don't pay what they thought it would have been when they ordered. They pay what it is when it arrives, and they're not having enough time to go in and figure out how to change all these pricings because who gets the raise?
We do.
The consumers are the ones who have to pay the difference. So they can't change it on the labels, but they can change it in the register like that. You know, the SKUs and the things like that are easier to change in a computer than on the shelf itself. It may come to a point where you see no pricing anywhere on shelves and you just have to scan something in order to see what the price is.
Well,
That
yeah.
seems like the next
Which
thing.
is what took me so long today. And then not to mention when you got up to the cash register, they only had 2 cashiers. This is a Friday. This is a Friday at Walmart, early.
So crazy busy.
It was crazy.
It almost
was
seems like
crazy.
they'd be better off putting market price on the shelves.
Yeah, throw market price up on everything. You're like, this is macaroni and cheese, market price. It's not just for fish anymore. Now it's macaroni and cheese, your green beans, your dried meats, or dried beans, things like that. But that does make sense if they had to like scan everything. Like if when you walked into Walmart, they gave you a scanner. Here, go check the prices. Like when you register for baby showers and things, they give you that scanner.
I have a few tricks and a few tips for anyone that's going shopping on a budget. Number 1, you need to have a list. And you need to try your very best to stay with that list, you need to have a budget knowing how much you're going to spend and try to stay within that budget. I have a cushion of $100 for the month. For the month. So that means when I shop, because I shop every week. So there's 4 weeks in a month. So that's $25 a week that I need to be able to, if there's a change in the pricing, I can still stay within budget because I have that cushion. I still have to remember that I'm going to also use money for gasoline and other things as well. So I have to make sure to stay within budget. It's not that difficult once you really pay attention to what you're doing and pay attention to your pricing. It's harder now to pay attention to your pricing because they keep changing it. But the best news is you need to slow down. That's another tip. You need to slow down and pay attention to what the prices really are so you can stay in budget.
Makes sense to me. And don't go shopping when you're hungry.
No,
That's
never
what happens
go
to
shopping
me.
when you're hungry or hurry.
Yeah, if you're in a hurry and I have to hurry up and get out in 5 minutes, then
Yeah.
you're going to make rash decisions which may affect your budget negatively.
And you really need to look at your receipt before you leave the store. You know, I mean, because it's a big difference now than it was before. A couple of pennies here and there, that was fine. Now we're talking 50 and above cents. So that's a lot. That's a big difference when you have a whole cart full of food. You know? So,
Yeah.